Hey everybody, this is meteorologist Jason Cooley with Texas Storm Chasers. It is Sunday, 1:27 p.m., April 23rd, 2023. We have a severe warned and actually also tornado warned storm. Now, for some reason, the tornado warning box is not populating here on this radar image. We do have a tornado warning in Cameron County, Texas, and that is good until... Well, let me find that because it's not loading here on the map, so that's unfortunate. The radar scope, that is. We did have a tornado warning in effect. Let me pull it up on another site here. Should be another 15 to 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and check out this storm and where the tornado warning is, even though it's not showing up on the map again. So right now what we have is a very severe MCS pushing out strong winds. We have strong winds come through Laredo, Corpus, surrounding areas, and now we're coming into Brownsville, Port Isabel, South Padre Island right now. So a pretty decent amount of population being affected by the storm here in just a matter of minutes. The storm's already through Los Fresnos, McAllen, Mission, Progreso, Arlington, Raymondville's already had it. So now what we're talking about is Brownsville, Port Isabel, South Padre Island, Texas, deep South Texas here, under a severe thunderstorm warning, and there is even a tornado warning. It's a smaller tornado warning, not showing up on the map here. But if we rocket back, this is about 10 minutes ago, we saw what prompted the tornado warning is this little hook echo here, northwest of Laguna Vista, northwest of Port Isabel, and it actually this storm tried to wrap the boundary in. So we see a gust front boundary emanating out ahead of the storm, and it actually tried to wrap it in. This is where we possibly had a spin-up tornado try to touch down northwest of Laguna Vista. At this moment, it does look like it is now outflow dominant again. So that's possibly all outflow now instead of inflow outflow spinning up. Now we look to be just outflow. Let's look at which way the wind is blowing again. This is 1:30 p.m. now. Storm is coming into Brownsville. You probably see a shelf cloud or something like that. This is a very strong outflow coming into the area. So probably a shelf cloud right over Brownsville to Port Isabel, about to cross into South Padre Island right now. But which way is the wind blowing? Here, let's look at wind velocities. This is very concerning, guys. I'm not going to lie. This is a very concerning outflow signature here. Now, we may still actually have a very tight area of spin here where this tornado warning should be. Now, it's not indicated on this radar scope right now. I can't fix that right now, but there is a tornado warning still in Cameron County. So let's go ahead and see which way this is moving here. Excuse me. Alright, so what we have is a possible tornado might have just materialized, alright? This is going to be northeast of Brownsville. So Brownsville, you're not in the path of this possible tornado. It's very hard to tell. We have a little bit of radar error going on here, data error going on. Switch over to this. It's hard to tell, but we may have a small spin up here northeast of Brownsville. Again, it is moving southeast, so Brownsville is not in the path. If anything, this is kind of going to go toward Boca Chica. Boca Chica? Is it Boca Chica or Boca Chico? Where the SpaceX is. Oh my goodness, look at these wind velocities. Anybody that is a little radar savvy here, this is close to the radar site here, eastern side of Brownsville. We're looking really close to where these winds are. We have upwards of 95 mile per hour wind gusts indicated on radar. Now at the surface it may be lower. I would be shocked if it was actually 95 miles per hour. But this is so close to the radar, folks, that this is a spooky wind signature, folks. I almost even wouldn't pay attention all that much to this possible little spin-up tornado because in the grand scheme of things, we have very, very strong outflow winds. This is going to bail right towards Brownsville radar. So folks that are going to be impacted by this very strong, there's our tornado warning box. Thank you, radar scope. A little bit too late for that. So as you see, we do have that tornado warning box. If I could stop clicking on random buttons, thank you. We have a tornado warning box, but this storm's already exiting the tornado warning. So we just have a whole mess of wind signatures going on here. Pretty much going due southeast here. Very strong winds. Again, let's probe the latest scan. 96 mile per hour wind gusts. Okay, now that is already south. Let me check the highways here. I believe that's Highway 4, but I'll double check. Oh, Highway 100. Okay, so it's already south of Highway 100, but folks in Los Fresnos to Laguna Vista may have had very strong winds already. Now the strongest core of winds now south of State Route 100, southeast of Los Fresnos. This is going to be already southwest of Laguna Vista, moving southeast, so it's not going to affect a whole lot of population at this point before it hits the international border. Now, what I'm referencing is this specific downburst. Let's call this a downburst because this is a very strong downburst signature. Again, winds possibly, it's not what I want, winds possibly near 95 to 100 miles per hour. Now, again, at the surface, it may be a little lower than what the radar is showing. However, we do note that the radar site is very close to this. So let's... How far is this away from the radar? It is about 8 to 9 miles away from the radar right now. So we actually do have pretty accurate data really close to the surface. So this is what's concerning, folks. 95, possibly even 100 mile per hour wind gust near the surface, maybe just above the surface. At the surface, maybe 75 to 80 mile per hour wind gust. Again, this is moving southeast. It's going to be crossing the international border here in just a few minutes, so I'm going to stay with you for that. There's not many folks that are out here east of Brownsville. This is kind of, plains area between the US 77 corridor and the Barrier Island. Let's take a brief look at South Padre Island, Port Isabel. You're just on the fringe of this thing. Alright, so the latest update, Port Isabel and South Padre Island, you are now getting gusty winds. Let's probe the winds. Possibly, now that's much weaker so far, but 30 to 40, maybe 50 mile per hour wind gust coming into Port Isabel and South Padre Island right now. So you're not going to want to be out on the beach or anything right now near flying objects. Umbrellas will go flying. We see that all the time when a strong to severe thunderstorm comes down the beach. Chairs, umbrellas, towels, swimsuits, all that fun stuff goes flying in the air. So hopefully folks are indoors. We have a new tornado warning again for Cameron County, and this really just going to include the very, very last couple of miles of the United States before it leaves the United States. So I bet they issued a tornado warning for this couplet. We have winds moving toward the radar in green, winds moving away from the radar in red, really close to the radar. So possible spin-up tornado on the leading edge of destructive winds. This is not just strong winds. These are severe winds. In fact, there are very severe winds, possibly destructive winds. Now, luckily, this is not taking aim at Brownsville because, whoa, Nelly, we would have big-time problems right now. However, these very strong winds are very close to the, I believe that's an Air Force base. Let me check. What kind of, well, we have a port. That's what it is. We have a big-time port. The port of Brownsville being affected by this. This is staying away from Boca Chica and South Padre, but the big-time area is going right over the port of Brownsville. So That's not going to be fun. We have a shrimp outlet. The Shrimp Outlet Specialty Seafood and Meat Market just possibly got hit by a tornado here. Now, we could take a look at the debris tracker. I'm not sure how effective that's going to be. I don't know if that's debris. Well, we have a pretty strong rotation couplet. Let's do a side-by-side here. This thing's just ferocious. I'm not even going to lie here. Alright, so may have some close to the ground debris going on here, and I don't have a strong tornado signature here, so this could just be dust, honestly. So we're going to go ahead and revert back to velocity. We don't have a very strong tornado signature. However, there's pretty strong couplet. Just it's a little more broad than tight, we would say. Yeah, so circulation here, obviously. So the tornado warning for southeast Cameron County, this is going to be just for the next 3 minutes, pretty much. However, even if it's not spinning, we have strong, severe, possibly destructive outflow straight line winds. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest scan and what the latest velocities are. And these are impossible numbers. 90 to 100 mile per hour wind gust within a few miles of the radar. Let's get really close here. So we're talking just a mile or two away from the radar. We have 70 mile per hour wind gust coming southeastward, crossing over, I believe that's State Route 48 now. So this is about to be in Mexico here in the next 2 minutes. But folks, anybody traveling on State Route 48 and previously State Route 100, just getting messed up with extreme winds, highly severe winds. I would call them destructive winds. Granted that it's so close to the radar, we have pretty good confidence that these are well over 80 mile per hour wind gust crossing. Here's State Route 48 right here. Just a wide, vast plume of strong, straight line winds crossing State Route 48. And again, that's State Route 48 just getting smashed right now by straight line winds. Let's forget about the tornado potential now, because that's now in Mexico pretty much at this moment. The tornado potential is now in Mexico. However, straight line winds smashing what's left of the United States here. Okay, the very southern couple of miles in the southern contiguous United States. 80 to 90, maybe even stronger wind gust. Southeasterly, moving southeasterly. These are northwesterly wind gusts moving southeast. Again, we have very good radar quality here, really close to the radar. So we know for dang sure that this is possibly destructive winds in excess of 70 to 80 miles per hour. So good news for South Padre is this missed South Padre. Good news for Brownsville, this roughly missed Brownsville. Bad news for the port of Brownsville, which is out east of Brownsville. Y'all got smashed, I'm sure, by very strong winds, very severe winds. So I don't know what kind of reports we're going to see out of this, but 70, 80 mile per hour wind gust. One of the busiest commercial ports in the United States here. It's Port of Brownsville. Very unfortunate situation for that area, but thank goodness that these extreme winds didn't hit Brownsville proper or South Padre Island. I'm sure at any time of the year people are out there vacationing on the beach. So hopefully nobody got caught off guard out there on the beach. Hopefully you saw the shelf cloud coming in from the north and you took shelter. However, again, South Padre Island, only strong to marginally severe winds, as opposed to about halfway between SPI and Brownsville, you all got smashed. So Port of Brownsville, Shrimp Outlet, just took possibly destructive winds. So we'll keep an eye out on reports. However, as far as the Texas issues go, this is it for the state of Texas for the rest of the day. Granted that, let's go ahead and zoom way out and take a look at the bigger picture. We have still strong northwesterly winds across the South Texas plains, Raymondville, Harlingen, but things will start tapering down. Marine-wise, folks out here in the Gulf of Mexico are going to have to watch out for spin-up water spouts along the leading edge of this thing. Strong winds, small craft, definitely at risk here. So hopefully everybody's staying safe out here on the boats, heeding weather advisories and warnings. Very strong winds, so small craft, very, very be advised. Goodness. Admittedly, this is kind of unusual for the cold front to be this far south in late April, but it is what it is. We're in the north, here in North Texas, we're still in the low 50s to upper 40s. So cold air, if you want to call it cold, cool air, all the way pushing south into South Texas now. So just a nasty day. And here we did have an enhanced risk down here in South Texas. I would definitely say that has verified. So the strongest winds have already passed the Brownsville radar. So we see 66 to 70 mile per hour winds going away from the radar to the south. And we still have 75 to 80 mile per hour winds headed toward the radar. So very accurate radar data again here in Brownsville. We are very confident that on the east side of Brownsville, near Port of Brownsville and Shrimp Outlet, and you get west of South Padre, west of Port Isabel pretty much, y'all have had some exceedingly severe winds, straight line winds. We had a spin up tornado possibly northwest of Laguna Vista, but not a whole lot of people affected by that. And then it might have tried to spin up again here, go a couple frames back if it will. Might have tried to spin up literally as it crossed the Mexico border. But main story here, which is now history, now that it's going right into Mexico, very severe, possibly destructive winds east of Brownsville, west of South Padre. So let's count our blessings that it didn't impact Brownsville proper as much as it could have, as well as South Padre Island, because those are very populated areas. Let's go back and switch to reflectivity. Needless to say, there is very heavy rain, frequent lightning all across Port Isabel, Brownsville, still over to Progreso, Harlingen, San Benito, and flash flooding possibly. Some brief flash flooding can't be ruled out too. We saw what happened in Laredo earlier. Some brief flash flooding, wind damage. So this storm complex is meant business. However, again, let's zoom out. It's pretty much over for the day as the whole thing has pretty much exited the United States. So unfortunate for Mexico, at least far northeast Mexico. They're going to have issues with this for a little longer. And unfortunate for out there, ships, commercial, cruises, all that stuff. They're going to have fun with this thing as huge MCS continues to track east-southeast. But as far as Texas goes, you're not going to hear from me today for the rest of the day. This is it. Our atmosphere behind this mega MCS has stabilized, so we're not expecting any other severe thunderstorm development behind this big MCS. So the day's pretty much done for Texas. Unfortunate for the Port of Brownsville. They did get walloped by some winds. So let's go ahead and just peruse the rest of the state of Texas. Showers, mist, cool to cold. So everything is stabilized through the rest of the evening for the whole state of Texas. So that is it. That is our special severe weather statement. We have a tornado warning that is pretty much going to expire, can be canceled now that this storm is, the leading edge of the storm is now in Mexico. So hopefully everybody took their severe weather precautions east of Brownsville to South Padre. We'll be looking out for reports. But I want to thank you for joining Texas Storm Chasers. I'm meteorologist Jason Cooley, and we will keep you updated with any reports that we see. We'll share to Facebook and such like that. But again, atmosphere stabilized throughout the whole state of Texas for the rest of the evening. So that's it. Nothing to worry about for the rest of the day. Heads up. Keep an eye on Tuesday. We may have a severe storm chance in northwest Texas on Tuesday. We'll have chasers out as well. Granted that most of our chasers are doing tornado tours, so they'll be chasing literally anything and everything, especially here in the state of Texas. But even me, myself, will probably be going out. Tuesday does look to have some severe, even maybe some tornado potential, northwest Texas. That's just a pretty far in advance heads up. There's still a lot of fine-tuning to do. So, again, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Violet, for moderating. And we will see you for the next video, probably Tuesday. But keep a heads up. Going to be editing some Shawnee, Oklahoma tornado video as well here tonight and tomorrow. So keep a heads up for that Shawnee, Oklahoma tornado video edit as well. So, again, signing off. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Hopefully everybody down there in deep South Texas is okay with those possibly 80 to 90 mile per hour wind gusts that came through just moments ago. So, again, have a good rest of your weekend, folks. Stay safe, Texas. God bless.